So Zach, I've talked to Tony about UCLA getting through that tricky spot against South Alabama, and that just seemed to unlock and liberate UCLA. So for Oregon, that moment was in the Palouse, down 12 with 4 minutes left. Seems to me that it's more than just beating Washington State that really got that Ferrari roaring up there in Eugene. It's the way they did it, and it was Bo Nix being able to lead that late comeback. That really seemed to have an especially big galvanizing effect on the locker room, on the offense, in terms of how everybody was on the same page, believing in themselves. I mean, it really seemed that Oregon, obviously the first 56 minutes of that game were a mess, but winning that game the way they did, that really seemed to carry some extra value for this team in terms of bringing it together the way we've seen the past few weeks.
Definitely. And that was a game that, in past regimes, we've seen Oregon lose that game 10 times out of 10. There was no way that we've seen under previous coaching staffs them come back, then be down that late in the game and actually come back and decide that, hey, we're not going to lose to this inferior team. We're going to step up and win on the road in a tough environment. And all credit to them. But yeah, it really invigorated the team. They came back, they put up 40 points in every game since Georgia. And the offense, like you said, is really rolling right now under Bo Nix. And Kenny Dillingham as offensive coordinator. I think that marriage between them that we saw at Auburn, I really think that's a huge part of why he's finding so much success up here in Eugene. But they've really got all of the pieces going, and I don't know what can stop them right now. We kind of have gone into certain games we're thinking that, their secondary might be a problem against Arizona, or their run defense, might not stand up to everything that they see. And so far they've kind of stood up to every test that we've seen so far. I know there's going to be a big test this week against UCLA. UCLA does everything well. They've got great pass defense, or great passing, great rushing. And so they're going to put Oregon's defense to the test. But I don't know. I'm really confident with what I've seen from this group so far that they're going to continue to kind of key in on what they need to get better at and keep going in the right direction and find answers that they need to.
It's amazing to me how much these teams, in a sense, mirror each other. They both have quarterbacks who have taken a beating, both mentally and emotionally and on the field, who have really stepped up this season. You look at UCLA's defense, which has been the bane of its existence for the 4 years prior to this, prior to getting rid of Jerry Azaneo and bringing in Bill McGovern. UCLA's rushing defense is 16th in the country right now. But hey, wait a second. Oregon's is 13th. So while we're talking about the offenses and you talk about the run game and, UCLA, Zach Charbonnet, I was stunned when he came back for another season. I didn't think he needed to. And boy, was I wrong, because you look at the season he's having and he's adding several more zeros to his paycheck, for next season in the NFL. So both teams have a quarterback who's really found a next level, a next gear in their game. You've got defenses that are amazingly similar, at least in terms of production and stopping the other team. You've got an Oregon offense that's averaging 42 points a game and a UCLA offense that's averaging 41.5 points a game. This is, you can't ask for a much more even setup.